Oh, good morning team, Saturday morning, bit different today. I'm going to be doing, what am I doing? Strength workout today instead of a threshold session. So I'm going to change my weeks around a little bit. And I'm going to make the decision. To drop the swimming and replace that with gym work, because as much as I love the swimming, I also am missing out with the strength work, and like I'd love to be able to keep both and keep them in, but when you're working, building business and all those sorts of things, as you can well appreciate, there's only so many hours you can fit in the day. And that swimming does actually take a little bit from you just because of the nature of the time that it is. Whoa, she's going all over the place. Because the sessions are like so early in the morning. So might make that decision to drop that and replace it with a little bit of strength and gym work. Because also, as well, I've sort of actually missed it. And not that I haven't done it or neglected it, but I've done it so infrequently that I'm feeling the difference from it. So I'm going to bring 2 sessions back per week, probably a Tuesday and a Friday. This just happens to be Saturday morning, so that's the plan of attack today. So let's get down the gym, drink the pre-workout, and I'll see you on the gym floor. Trap bar deadlift today, let's take a look. So as you can see already, this trap bar, actually like most trap bars, handles are quite high on this. Because the plates, they're big, it allows it to get off the floor that little bit more. So theoretically, like for me, that's great. If you've got the range of movement, you can flip this bar upside down and you'll be able to get an extra maybe 4 or 5 inches lower. But for me, this is great. So just in this position here, what we want to work on, keeping the arms nice and locked. You're gonna keep bum down and then lats engaged. So that is switched on, ready to go. I'm not gonna do the rep, I'm just gonna show you. So just in here, that's locked on. What I would do next, take a nice belly full of air, keep that canister tight, keep the core switched on, and then that will be engaged through the lift. And the main component you're looking for is to keep the arms locked, keep that straight, back and lats are engaged, because then the load is nice in the right places. If this was all switched off in the upper body and this was off, you tend to find you're going to put a lot of dominance through in a very vulnerable position, and obviously that is where you're going to lead yourself to potentially hurt yourself, especially your back. So as I say, let's get locked in for this. Arms locked, hips down, nice and tall, lats engaged, core switched on, belly full of air. Reload. Now that feels good for 5 reps for me at the minute. Again, it's been a minute since I've been on here, so again, I'm taking it steady, working it up to 3 to 5 reps, but if it feels good, I'm staying with what feels good. Then progressively over a period of time, I'll stay with the trap bar, but just keep an eye on it, especially when you're tracking. Again, me and my clients, we track all the numbers that we lift, and we make sure that progressively over a period of time, we're increasing strength, we're just getting that little bit stronger. So if you keep doing that, what gets measured gets managed, and you can work up from there. So that's trap bar deadlift done, 5 sets of 5. Now I'm going to work on the hatch squat. I won't lie to you, I just tried the leg press. I can't get into that position very well, so I'm going to flip that and substitute it for this hatch squat machine, which I'm going to work 4 to 8 reps, but slow tempo. So really slow it down, keep it controlled. And as I say, this is going to be a little bit more in my favour in comparison to that leg press. But this thing's a beast, by the way, so I don't even need to put any weight on it, I don't think, to start with. Wow, got some nice spice in the quads, that is. Just a little hack for you on the hatch squat. Psychologically, sometimes when you're doing these reps and sets, one of the things I do in my head is start at the end number and count backwards. Actually makes it a little bit easier. Your brain knows that the end is coming. Whereas when you count up, sometimes it's a bit like, I've done 8, stop there. Whereas if you say 10, you go right, 10, 9, 8. Right, I've got to get to the last one. Helps me, might help you. what you can do in here as well. So this is my training app. So this is what my clients do as well. There's a little like arrow icon there, little replay icon. You press that. You say, customize this day only. I can substitute this exercise now. And I can put in hack squat in there. And if I press that, selected, done. That's now switched it out. So like trap bar deadlift, now I've substituted it out for hack squat instead. So that's pretty cool. Same concept, by the way, while I'm here. So what you want to do, none of the weight now pushing through me, so I don't want to just relax my body. I want to make sure that this core is engaged, not tense, but like engaged, it's on. So that's like on, it's that sort of pulling up sensation that you've got in there. Keep the rib cage down. Grab these handles, take advantage and bring those elbows in. Keep everything like dialed in, locked in. It's a little timer. That's the way every 20 sets of reps, hit that. Time comes up at the top. Just all these things you got to think about. So useful. Last thing, foot position. So in theory you can keep your feet straight. That feels good for me. I like to follow the natural tendency of my feet. My feet ever so slightly come out, and I think that's fair to say for everybody. So not mad like turn them out, but just like a little, maybe 10 or 20 degrees, just turn them out ever so slightly. Just allow the knees and the hips just that little bit of freedom as you put the load through the body. So yeah, that feels smooth. Quads are like jelly already. Wow. Right, we're on now the lying leg curl machine. So I really like this one in comparison to seated, because when you're lying down it allows you to really stretch the hammies out. So let's get this one set up and give it a go. Oh, I love it when you get to a machine and actually it's perfectly set up for you, ready to go. Alright, so nice stretch on the hammies, pull and squeeze them in. Again, the resistance on this is very, very light. What we at? This is 30 kilos. But again, I'm focusing on slow stretch, pull, squeeze your hamstrings in. And I'm working for 10 to 15 reps. That's 4. Okay. Marianne setting the bar up. Nice. Little safety bar split squat, that's going off. I actually like the look of that pull-up bar, so I'll see how many sets she's got left. I might use that because I'm actually now at the intersection between doing my upper body stuff. I've got 2 total body sessions that I do per week. I do the lower body stuff first and then the upper body stuff second, because I like to finish with the things that I enjoy, and that's the upper body stuff. So I'm at an intersection now where I'm going to superset a Bulgarian split squat with a pull-up, so I want to use that, but I also want to get in this rig to do Bulgarians. And then I'm going to hit some upper body stuff and some nice pumpy arm stuff to finish, just because I obviously enjoy that as well. It's like when you look down at your plate, you know, when I was a kid anyway, I used to eat all the veg first and then save the meat till last, because it's the best favourite bit. So just get all the admin out of the way first and then finish on the things you enjoy. Oh, they're still vile. They never get any easier or nicer. They're just disgusting. Whew. Right, we're going to do flat dumbbell chest press, 8 to 12 reps, slow tempo, focus on that stretch and squeeze. Then we're going to go into we're going to do a standing cable fly, but we've got a machine in it for this, so I'm going to do a seated machine heck fly as well. I appreciate you probably can't see what I'm explaining on that, so I'll just give you a little bit of a run through. So when you're lying down in that position, what you want to try and make sure you're doing, rather than grabbing the dumbbells and your arms are square here, you're coming out here. That's like very shoulder dominant. So as soon as you bring those elbows down in line with your chest, the lower part of your chest here, you're going to push up from the right place. So when you're lying on your back and you look up at the dumbbells, rather than having them square, think 45 degrees, turn them in. That position in itself usually puts the elbow in the right place. Too low and it turns into like a tricep exercise. So elbows tucked in this position here, nice stretch at the bottom. And as you're pushing up, really focus on squeezing up with the pec itself. The weight's too heavy and you can't feel that. You're not really going to be loading the pec. It's too light and you can't feel it at all. You want to find a weight that's roughly in the middle and then start from that foundationally upwards from there. So as I say, these are 25 kilos and I can really feel that working at the top. So in between sets as well, if you want to get that little feel, just literally put your hands inside your pecs here and just try and focus on squeezing inwards with this here. Try and squeeze your pec and also tense up so you can feel it on your finger, go that little bit harder here. That means you're activating in the right place for that. So when you put all that together, dumbbells are going to be here, that's square. So I'm just going to turn them ever so slightly here. Whoa, okay, I can feel that already. A nice little slow on the way down, stretch, and as I'm coming up now, focus on, rather than just pushing the weight up, focus on how you're pushing it up. Focus on the fact that you're pushing it up from your chest, so you're trying to get that squeeze. So that if that means slowing it down a little bit, or if that means dropping the weight and slowing it down, or either or both, then that's going to serve you so much better because you can actually feel your work in the right place. It's the same with this in theory. So when you're coming out to this sort of crucifix position, you don't want to be square to the floor with your arms. You actually want to be ever so slightly higher, just that little bit. So it basically means then that obviously the handle is a little bit more in line with your chest in here. Not that low, but under more, not up here. That's too much in here. So that little bit lower just allows that elbow to line up with the pec that little bit more. Right, the most important thing to make the bike go faster, the pipes. So what we're looking at with these, a lot of people mess this up. And again, look at the weight, 10, 15 kilos. Focus on squeezing the bicep on the way up. Keep your arms controlled, keep it fixed, nice stretch on the way down. And then focus on the squeeze. At the minute, these first 2 to 5 reps are going to feel like a little bit pointless. Reps 6 to 15, oh my God, your arms are going to explode. This is number 4. Number 9, that's burning. 12, oh, good heavens. 15, right, you don't stop now. Now this is where you count. Oh, Jesus Christ. What we want to start to look at in this position, when you're setting these up, skull crushers or tricep extension, what you want to focus on is when your arms are above and your hands are in line with your head. This part here, your elbow to your shoulder, you want to keep that like straight, square, and come into this position at the top of your head. Now, that's not to dismiss that you can actually change the angle. So from here, sometimes when I'm doing this, I'm like, just not getting that feel today on this. So sometimes what you can do is actually make a very small movement backwards, above, slightly, just to stretch this out that little bit and slightly push backwards. That does have its place. You know, we're not saying you got to keep it dead straight, dead square there. What I would say, if you've always done these in a certain way, same with every exercise, then just the smallest of angle change or the smallest of weight change or the smallest of speed change is going to make a real big difference. So let's take a look. Right, so again, from this position here, you want to make sure from your elbow to your shoulder is straight and you're pivoting off that elbow. You're working from here, nice and controlled. Again, nice stretch on the way down. Good little squeeze on the way back up. But again, as I said, if you're doing this and you're thinking, not really getting the feel, then like move back slightly, just be careful. And just get that little bit of a stretch on the elbow. If you look where my elbows are now, my elbows are in line with my forehead and I'm pushing back in that position. Much more difficult, but whoa, definitely got that different angle, different feel. And then when I'm near enough the last one, which is that one, I actually come back in and then do a little bit of a tricep press in here, keep the elbows tucked in, and then just finish it off with 4 or 5, whatever's left. Oh, wow, that's burning up. Oh, not gonna lie, that tank is getting empty now. So let's save this session. So all my data's in there. So all my data's in this session now. So at the end of the workouts that me and my clients get, you get this little scale from effortless all the way around to extremely hard, like beyond hard. So for me today, that was somewhat hard, I'll be honest. Then really important, at the same time as tracking your objective data, which is the weight and the metrics and all that sort of stuff, what's really cool about this is if you tap to comment, you can add in subjective data. So for me, trap bar to start with, weight on trap bar felt really good today, which I did at 85 kg. Any more would have felt overcooking it. But then also, you know, came into the session feeling 7 out of 10. I've got this sort of lingering bit of a cold. 7 out of 10, but slept really well and well hydrated this morning. So that comment's in there, click done, and then that's now tracked. So my objective data is tracked, my subjective data is tracked, and then now I can start to watch this progressively over time start to change, and it just gives me that confidence and momentum, knowing full well that obviously I'm doing the right things and the needle's moving in the right direction. If you want to take your health and your fitness and your body seriously, then you've got to start to put the effort into these sorts of things, which is tracking the data, monitoring your progress, like keeping a journal on how you feel, not just like the weight part, but like the things around it, like sleep, how your food's been, hydration, stress, all that sort of stuff. The more that you make it a project, the more serious that you're taking it, and then you're going to make some real progress. So I'm cooked, session done, session finished. And as I say at the start of this, if you did find it useful to look at that warm-up, then check in the comments below. You can see the warm-up drills that I do to start a session. But also just leave a comment if you want any more information on this session today. But also please feel free to like this video. I am doing my best to help people like yourself get where you want to be personally, physically and professionally. See you on the next one.